We're lamenting print, the tactile aspect of it, the ink, the way that our brains used to process information, Greg. I grew up loving a box score. It was a totem of sports. That's how sports was represented to me in my hands, how I touched it, literally. And for you, it meant what?
Well, it's so strange to talk about the newspaper industry in terms of nostalgia and what used to be, because we are still publishing, but it just seems like something that has already died. And I just remember a million different instances when you used to be on a flight on a jet, all over the plane, there were people reading newspapers, and you'd hear the pages rattle softly when they turn the.
And it's better now.
Well, it's just something I miss. And one thing that I worshipped as a kid was box scores. I grew up, David, you'll appreciate this.
Another old thing towards David.
I grew up.
Very
no,
bizarre.
it's because he's a baseball man.
Statistically true as well.
It's because he's a baseball man. My first hero was Carl Yastrzemski of the Red Sox in that magical 1967 season.
So old.
Wasn't born yet.
Okay.
Yes.
That turned me on to sports and in effect led to my career. I used to worship box scores so much. I kept all the Red Sox stats based on, I clipped out the box scores.
My God, you're so old. They still do this for you. You can see all this on your phone. Box scores still exist.
That's
I look
what
at
I
them
wanted to talk
every
about, is
day.
you're
I
missing the
love
whole
when I see a
point.
Marlins score, box score, batting order.
Okay.
Like I see it all. It's just done for me.
But I clipped them out and taped them into a book.
Tim Kirkjian still does
and
that, I
kept
think.
I think he does, and kept the stats
With
up.
normal size scissors that for Tim probably feel like giant 4-foot scissors.
Every day I updated the stats for the entire team, and I played Stratomatic baseball. I kept complete stats of a complete season. Baseball was my first love, and yeah, the box score is like a holy thing to me almost.
I find the low-hanging short joke to be not worthy of you. Not necessary.
What happened there?
I think he was making a joke at someone else there, David.
He was making a joke at Tim Kirchin.
Oh.
You didn't make a Tim Kirchin scissor joke?
Oh, I did.
Where regular scissors
I thought
would
you
feel
took
like
it
the
at
big
you.
scissors?
My
Yeah,
bad.
that's what I thought was happening.
No, I didn't take it for me.
Oh, so David, I apologize to the union leader of
Thank
this
you.
demographic.
What I thought would be just when you did that, where my brain went, it'd be funny to give someone the random punishment of for the rest of your life, you have to only use really large scissors. In any spot where you're using scissors, you have to use ones that take like big shears.
Twilight Zone.
I was admittedly also imagining Kirkshin's face on that 4-foot-tall Pinocchio.
Another one.
That's just a thematic match.
It's just funny to look at.
Loved him.
Can I ask?
Tom.
I've only been in Tim Kirchin's company,
No.
like right next to him once. Is he that short, Tim Kirchin?
Yeah, he's short.
I don't think of him as short.
He's short.
Okay,
He's short. He's actually shorter than I am.
I did not know that.
Was that a joke at yourself?
No, I'm short. I'm 5'5".
Said
That's
actually.
I feel like if Pablo said that, you would have taken offense to
Well, I
it.
just think Pablo does it and doesn't realize he's so quick to worry about we're doing towel animals, we're all getting canceled, but he's doing short jokes like it doesn't matter.
Show dealer.
Have you interviewed Carl's grandson?
Mike?
Yes.
Of the Giants?
Carl's grandson.
Oh, first name basis. Got it.
Yaz's grandson is Mike.
It's like Carl Scott? Carl's pretty young.
No,
Director of audio at Metal Arc Media?
I have not, but he's a great story.
When they come to town, why wouldn't it be that someone who you'd want to go to the park and interview?
Yeah, I
Because
would.
it would involve going to the park.
I would think Mike's probably tired of talking about Grandpa, but he's a great. He spent forever in the minor leagues. Never got a shot. And then when he was traded to the Orioles, I think it was, they finally called him up.
Giants.
No, he's with the Giants now. I think his first call-up was with
I
Baltimore.
thought he
wasn't
started with the Giants, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
But either way, his
look that
story is that of living in the shadow. It's not like Vladimir Guerrero of the Home Run Derby, where Junior is this amazing player, Prince Fielder with his father, Cecil
Right.
Fielder. To be the son or grandson of a great player, I view it like Michael Jordan's kid who tried to play basketball for a hot second and then realized, well, wait a minute, this likely won't work. Yastrzemski's grandson could have fallen prey to that and just given up and said, I can't be my grandpa.
Right.
But he kept at it Bull Durham style,
Yeah.
and now he is a performing major leaguer.
He was never an Oriole.
Okay, my bad.
Glad we settled that.
And he did pretty well. Like, I think his first year up, I think he was.
Why
top,
are we talking about this
I
now?
think he was top 5 in Rookie of the Year.
Because Greg works for a paper, and in theory, he does interesting columns about interesting stories.
Right.
In
And
theory,
that's a good
he
idea.
works for the Marlins, with the Marlins.
So
Right.
I have a question for newspaper man and newspaper enthusiast. What column are you writing about this home run derby last night?
I realize I'm the outlier because the home run derby is a massive success. People seem to love it. It's been great for MLB. I personally think it's dumb. I think it's almost to the point of ridiculous. The idea that we're aggrandizing these guys hitting softballs against 30 miles an hour.
Softballs.
How far is
and it's not 30 miles an hour.
okay? How fast is a BP pitch?
Call it 62.
Okay.
You don't even realize how this works.
I do realize how it's works.
Isn't it more difficult to hit a home run off of a slow pitch?
No.
Yeah. Why would it be?
Because like the speed of the ball, I don't know.
I have a way to make it way better because last night's home run derby, what really pissed me off is that it's dependent on the batting practice pitcher and the quality of the BP
When
pitcher.
you mention how fast is a pitch, it feels like your mileage literally does vary depending on your preference. And for instance, Vlad Guerrero Jr., who won the thing, I am told, what I did see was that the manager of the Blue Jays, John Schneider, was the guy who was throwing to him because
But
he
that's his
needed
usual BP pitcher.
Exactly. But the manager of the team, the comfort needed superseded the hierarchy. And so here was John Schneider lobbing meatballs.
Where Pete Alonso had to have a guy come in at the last minute because his regular BP pitcher had a forearm strain, so was on the injured list, and therefore he had a new person who wasn't as good. Garcia's BP pitcher wasn't as good. I want to change to the Derby where there's a pitching machine.
Oh, God.
I want the
So it's
pitching
equal for
machine
all.
equal for all,
Yeah.
where I don't have to worry about the guy throwing sliders to Garcia or the guy for Lewis Roberts' second round where he just couldn't get it over the plate. It's not fair.
It's hilarious when a pitch looks like a slider tailing away from him. But the funniest part for me last night was this random catcher who was like trying to speed up. Did you see this guy behind the pitch? Because one of the guy's pitchers was going way too slow. I think you got to speed it up. I think it was the guy from the Orioles, his dad. He just wasn't doing it as fast, and you could see the catcher kind of like, come on.
Wait, so
come
these are arguments in favor of David's case that you need a machine.
Yeah.
And my regret with that.
Julio Rodriguez had a machine. That Pena guy, jeez.
Oh, he was just
He has
perfect.
no windup.
Perfect.
He was the perfect
Yes,
BP
yes,
pitcher.
no windup.
Well, you didn't
Just
see it.
that part I saw like a Vine or whatever it is that kids watch now.
Same.
Like a 5-second reel.
I was like, oh, he's good.
A vine.
Is Vine still a thing?
No.
Greg Cote loved Vine for a little
I
bit.
did
Anyways,
love
as you
Vine.
were.
I feel like
You've
that's
been great on
MySpace.
Vine. The reason I say it, though, is why I am dismayed by your case, although it is logical and, of course, it is in line with baseball's general move, which I have been prophesying for years, which is that computers, of course, if you value accuracy and efficiency, computers and machines are superior to humans, the imperfect meat sack of the planet. I believe that we would just miss out on, like, Bryce Harper's Jack Dad. Remember Bryce Harper's Jack Dad? Like, that's that's
Jack Harper.
With every bit of progress, you are going to have things that are tough to lose.
Jack Harper.
But for me, isn't the benefit the fact that you get a better home run derby?
Well, I
the
believe
benefit of a better computer is you are more efficient, but you miss the typewriter.
Well, this now ties back into the general conversation we're having about media technology.
Thank you.
Because what I'm concerned about is the degree to which efficiency is winning over entertainment. And our entertainment can be measured in our nostalgia, in our tactile sensation, in the fact that we like. And by the way, it's not just in newspapers. It's not just about, certainly, what we like, what we find entertaining about them. It's also the fact that a newspaper journalism is supposed to be kind of a civic institution, right? And so the idea that it's not justified by the habits of people, it makes me lament the vulnerability that we have imposed onto these institutions, which are profit-driven, instead of being guarded and defended and funded as nonprofits, as only a couple of them are still.
Well, one of the problems with the erosion of democracy is that the very idea of a free press is being demeaned and no longer seen as essential. And that's a fact.
I'm confused here because it's not that people aren't able to write anymore. There are still columns and articles. They're just not printed. So the New York Times still has opinion pieces. You just get them on their app. So why are you saying that this is part of the elimination of democracy and freedom of press, which may be a part of reality?
Well, Greg, you're living it. So before I come in with my theories, what is your notion on that?
Well, I don't just refer to the erosion of the newspaper when I'm talking about what's happening with democracy. The whole idea that the media as a profession is now something that ranks down there with car salesmen in terms of the esteem for it. You know, the reporter now is heckled and a point of derision. I just read that there was some meteorologist from the Midwest somewhere who's now getting hate mail for a series he did on global warming. You know, the media is politicized now, where the far right hates the media and maybe some on the left do. It's tough being a journalist right now. Maybe not for me. I'm still in the toy department, the sports, but if I'm a guy covering politics, that's a tough job.
Well, sure, because it's not just the degradation of reputation. It's also the way that optimization, technology, efficiency has cost standards. And so when you talk about a newsroom, it's not simply, you can just put that on your computer screen. Instead, it's when the business changes such that the business of a computer screen and ads and clicks is X, and the old model of subscriptions was Y. Well, now Y you're not getting, and X does not afford you to have a newsroom full of editors. And Greg, I mean, you have to be already nostalgic for editors on some level, as much as you've warred with them.
Right. Well, at the Miami Herald, for example,
This is a new and unimproved Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.
For not being Dan, but it's me, Pablo. Hi. I'm with Greg and David. That is exactly the bemused, uninterested look I was worried about.
You got us, Ron?
That's actually disinterest.
Ron's muted.
He's muted
Ron
himself.
is muted. Ron is
It's
muted.
his first day on Zoom. Let's start a little. Let's do that again.
Okay.
Ron, I do need to apologize again for not being Dan. I'm with Greg and with David. It's me, Pablo. Hi. Great to see you.
Hi, Pablo. Great to see you as well. No worries.
So you're in your palatial office, and I just want to always set the scene for people who are listening in audio. What's behind you? What's around you? Just set the literal table here.
You know, it's all the crap that my wife won't let me bring home anymore. Basically, I've been here for over 40 years, so you collect stuff over those years, and I've kind of put them all around me. Let's see, over here, my right shoulder is a oryx skull. There's a painting of a lioness charging at me. There's some sculptures, carvings from around the world from indigenous people that made them for me. There's pictures of my family behind me in a credenza. On the wall, there's a bunch of headshots of all the people I've worked with over the years that I've done stories with. Like I said, it's just all the stuff that my wife won't let me bring home anymore. So it's a collection of 43 plus years of working at the zoo.
Of all that stuff, what's the least important to you? If you had to throw one of those things away right now, what would it be?
If I had to throw one of those things away.
What picture is least important to you? Let's turn around. Let's really get a feel
picture
for this.
is least important. Well, there's a poster back there of endangered animals over my head there of Panama. I've got a lot of the carvings and stuff for those actual animals, so I could probably take that poster down.
All right, bad follow-up by me. Back to you, Pablo.
I have a fun fact for you, Ron, and a question. If you've ever been to Katz's Deli in New York, there are pictures of people on the wall, and your wall reminds me of the wall of Katz's Deli. And a fun fact, there's a picture of me on the wall of Katz's Deli.
really?
That's
Wow.
another fun fact. That's 4.
That's actually impressive on some level.
4.
I have follow-ups that I'll do when Ron is not here.
You've got to be the crappiest celebrity on that wall.
Does his
Absolutely.
Listen, it's like being the tallest short person. So, looking
Not
at
gonna
your
do it.
looking at
It's
your
a picture of me up at Pink's in Los Angeles.
yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
What did Ron Magill do to earn a photo on the wall at Pink's in Los Angeles, an institution in Los Angeles?
Well, most of the people who work at Pink's are Hispanics. And, I did a very popular Hispanic show for a lot of years. I walked in there and they just freaking went nuts, I guess. I guess they watched the show and, they gave me a hat. They put the hot dog where they write your name on the hot dog, the big hot dog, and they took my picture and put it up the wall there. I think I'm just
And
a
then
couple of
told you,
rows over. from
"Fuera!"
Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
It's rare
Look at
that
me,
we
baby.
in the
Look
same
at me, Louis.
it's rare in the same show we have two people being the crappiest celebrities on 2 different restaurants.
There you go.
Ron, everything you're saying, you used the word credenza earlier. You have a chain peeking out. You have dark paneled wood, photos of famous people, an oryx skull. All of this is suggesting to me that this foundation thing that you have running, people are right to ask questions about where this is actually going because you seem to be living real high on the hog these days.
Yeah, well, it's going to save wildlife is where it's going because I do earn a salary here at the zoo, and I do earn a living in other ways that I'm able to. I'm also 63 years old, so I've saved a lot because I've never had a drink in my life, an alcoholic drink. I've never had a cup of coffee in my life. I don't travel to places that require a lot of money because I'm usually hosted by places where I'm doing conservation work and stuff like that. So I don't spend money on things. You guys probably spend more a night on alcohol than I do on half of the stuff in my office.
You got that right.
So,
But last week, Ron, you were dressed, and Pablo, I don't know if you saw this, but I believe you did because you are a consumer of this when you're not in the conductor's chair. He was wearing a full Miami Vice outfit.
Oh, yeah.
Having just come from a bougie photo opportunity at a place that I cannot recollect, and doesn't matter for the segment that I can't. But Ron,
Fontainebleau.
you at the Fontainebleau, yes.
Wow.
But Ron, you putting off vibes like you have a name tag on and you're wearing a free giveaway shirt and all the other stuff. I don't think that people are getting the true picture. Ron Magill is this striking, tall man, and if he went on a cruise, he'd be in the duplex. For sure.
Yeah, he'd be the captain. He'd be steering the ship, that guy.
You guys are very, very kind. Listen, I'm a going on 64-year-old man who's lost most of my hair. Can't even dunk a basketball anymore. I'm lucky I can get out of my chair. So those days, that ship has sailed, guys. That ship has sailed. I'm still tall, but starting to hunch over a little bit. It's guys, the only thing that's undefeated in life is Father Time, and he's beating the crap out of me.
Do you have the Nick Saban setup like he does at Alabama, where anytime any other big-time zoo guy gets a raise, then you get a raise with the Zoo Miami? Because you're the face of zoos out here. Like who? I don't know the guy at the San Diego Zoo.
That's right.
I haven't gotten a raise in over a decade.
So it's like the Miami Herald.
Government job.
There you go. So listen, I've been here a long time. I'm not complaining about my salary, but. Donate to Ron's substantive endowment as you start to make it sound like I'm
Another bad spot I put you in. I'm really killing it this segment.
Is there a union of zoo keepers?
Do I do what? No,
Is there a union for zoo?
Because David would like to break
keepers.
it. Yes, he would like to break that.
There is a count. It's not necessarily strictly a union for zookeepers, but the zookeepers belong to a union as part of the county program out here.
I have a question, David. I don't have a question for David. I have a question for Ron. David has been speaking so much that I've been asking him questions unintentionally. Ron, I took my daughter, who's 3, to the Bronx Zoo last week, and it was a revelatory experience.
Yeah.
And they had things that aren't in the Central Park Zoo. They had tigers. They had giraffes. So if you're in a city and you're looking up a zoo and you want to know what animals are there, what's the animal that jumps off the screen where you would advise that person, you got to go there? That's a rare thing. What animal to you pops out as, oh, that is an attraction that you got to make time to go visit?
Well, I'm always a big fan of the snow leopard. I think we've talked about that on the show here. It's just, one of the most elusive animals, rarest animals in the world. Not a lot of zoos can have them because they're an animal that doesn't do well in really hot climates. Snow leopard lives in the snow, of course. It's an incredible animal. So that's an animal I always look for. The Komodo dragon, the largest, most powerful lizard on Earth. This thing can grow to be 10 feet long, weigh close to 300 pounds. I mean, these are cool animals that you don't often see in zoos. So if a zoo has that animal, man, I'd book to go see it.
Sea lions have gotten apparently more aggressive out in California, and people are blaming the toxic algae blooms. Is it because they're getting sick?
They're definitely getting sick. I mean, we've gotten sea lions that have gotten sick. We've gotten a lot of sea turtles here at Zoo Miami. We've already rescued, I think half a dozen sea turtles that were succumbed to red tide, algae blooms. So animals are definitely be affected by this, whether it's causing them to be more aggressive or not. I think what happens is with these algae blooms, they start going hungry. They start losing their food base. The food base is also affected by the bloom. And when an animal is hungry, it tends to be a little bit more ornery. And that's where you get a lot of these conflicts. And then you have to put in the factor of just plain ass stupid people. And there are a lot of those out there. And there's the natural selection process where these animals are trying to take the stupid people out. So when people go up and think that the sea lion is, Rover, and they want to go up and pet him and want to take a selfie putting his face right next to them, and they get bitten, you know what? Oh, well.
Wait, Ron, what's the number one animal that people get wrong like that? In the power poll of animals that people think are approachable and cutesy, but actually are the opposite?
Gosh, it's hard to say, but I would look at animals like bison and deer, especially male deer, stags. I mean, these animals, they think of it's Bambi. Oh, it's just a fluffy little big cow. And these animals could launch you like you're made out of styrofoam and then stomp all over you. I mean, people don't realize how quick they are and how fast they can turn on you. So I look at those animals and think, yeah, bison, deer, things like raccoons. It tears you up, man. I mean, these are bad animals.
That was really intense. I don't know how to follow that.
The noise that Ron tried to make was...
No, he didn't try to make it. He made it.
Well, Zoom screwed us there. We didn't catch all of it. If you want to do it again, try it again.
No, it's too loud.
Try again with a little lower volume. Yeah. A little lower volume.
Really, guys?
It's a Zoom.
For the youtube.com/LeBatard and Friends audience, you need to go and see, but not hear, what Ron Magill has been trying to do. Lucy Rodin, new member of Meadowlark Media. You have a question for Ron Magill.
Hi, Ron. I'm Lucy. I work here now, and my defining personality trait is that I have an extra tooth. So I was curious, are there any animals that have a bunch of teeth that we wouldn't expect for them to have so many teeth?
Well, I think an animal that has a mammal that has one of the highest numbers of teeth are possums. Possums, I forget how many teeth they have, but it's like twice as many as humans. There's a lot of teeth in a possum's mouth. Not that they're going to come and attack you. Possums can put on a big show. If you threaten them, they'll open their mouth and kind of...
What is going on here?
But they won't come lunging at you. As a matter of fact, when they think they've got no other recourse, they play dead. You heard the term playing possum. They'll literally fall on their sides, stick their tongue out.
Wait, so Ron, that opposite question as a follow-up. The animals that look like they're really scary but are just talking a big game. Possum is clearly on that list. What else comes to mind?
50 teeth I'm seeing the possum have.
Things you should not be actually so afraid of.
You really shouldn't be... I guess we're going to go back to an old standard that we've talked about so many times in this show. If you come across a black bear, which people have panic, and sharks, the same thing. I was in the Galapagos Islands a while back, and I remember swimming down, and above me, man, there were probably 30 or 40 hammerheads swimming in a circle over my head. And people would look at that and go, oh! No. These animals really want nothing to do with you. Same thing with the common black bear here in Florida. I've come across several black bears in the wild. They look at me. I'm lucky if they can stand still long enough where I can get a shot of them before they run away.
What if they're sprinting at me like that one was in the ice? Did you see this viral video?
You saw that, right? You saw that, but what happened there, Chris?
Yeah, they said, hey, bear, and then he ran away.
Chris, he's coming at you full blast across the river. And that guy listened to the Ron Magill adage, hey, bear, put your hands up, hey! And then the very last second, this charging bear turned around and ran the other way, right? Because the bear's going, dude, this guy's not turning and running like I'm expecting he would. He must be a badass.
Why is this bear such a coward?
The bear is not a coward. The bear is being smart. The bear is thinking, listen, this guy's not running away. He must know something I don't, even though you don't. The bottom line is, it proves the point. Hey, bear, there it is. There it is. Look at this. And that bear says, no, I don't think so. But he never turns his back. Never turns his back, and he screams at that bear. And he's coming lunging at him. Listen, that guy's got some major stones. I'm going to give him to him. He's got some major stones.
That guy's scared. I just want you to know that. That guy's not.
He's scared. Better be. I'm scared watching the freaking video. Of course he's scared, but he's smart. He kept focused on what he had to do. If he turned his back, he would have been freaking toast, dude.
He's out of options, right? When he's deciding what he's going to do there.
I'm scared. Ah,
right.
Please run away.
It's a classic, confirmation of what I've been telling the listeners for years here. Do never turn your back on a bear. Now, if it's a brown bear and it comes and it gets you, you got to play dead. If it's a black bear, you got to fight back.
Ron Magill, your words actually echo in my ears whenever I'm in nature. Please donate to Ron's, yes, substantive endowment, zoomiami.org/Ron-Magill-conservation-endowment. Ron, thank you so much, as always.
Always a pleasure, guys. Have a great week, man.